There were two stores owned by Uyghurs in Xining City. Because of the success of the adaptation of The Girl in Dabancheng, my father was fascinated by Xinjiang folk songs, and he always consciously contacted more ethnic minorities from Xinjiang. He passed by there every day on his way to and from work, and became friends with the two owners, going in to sit and listen to their songs as he passed by. These two bosses were educated intellectuals who had studied in Nanjing in their early years and knew Chinese. Because they did not cooperate with the warlord Sheng Shichai, they were forced into exile in Qinghai. It was easier for my father to communicate with them. The songs Alamu Khan, Lift Your Cover, and Kashgar Dance were all collected by him in the He-Exi corridor in 1938, and because of the help of these two Uyghur friends, his translations and settings in Chinese were smoother and therefore more mature. Alamu Khan is a song and dance program adapted by my father for the Qinghai Children's Theater Company, using the Turpin folk duo song and dance, La Par. It was performed as a male-female duet, and the lyrics were sung in a rapid-fire rhythm that needed to be sung in one breath, which was difficult for the children of the troupe to accomplish with such difficulty. My father rewrote the lyrics of two stanzas and also composed the melody of the original folk song twice, adding half-beat rests to the first notes of For the Bars. This solved the problem of the young performers changing their breath during the performance, and also gave the song an artistic lift. Alamu Khan was one of my father's more successful and widely sung songs during this period, and later, Alamu Khan evolved into a solo song, a reprise song, and a chorus song. This phenomenon is inseparable from the song's humor and fun, lively and freestyle. Ma Bufeng assigned my father to be the Qinghai cadre's training group music instructor, but also let him teach local officials to learn to sing songs, and then my father and the Qinghai anti-war troupe in the county's performances, anti-Japanese propaganda activities in Xining City, but also often organizes the people's singing competitions. For a time, Xining City changed the past silence and stereotypes. There is a vibrant life. His melodious singing greatly encouraged the confidence of the army and the people of all ethnic groups to fight against the Japanese, and played an important role in promoting the anti-Japanese salvation movement in Qinghai. Some of the songs that Secker sent from Yan'an, Fighting Back Home, Song of the Guerrillas, In the Taihang Mountains, 800-strong men defending the 4 rows of warehouses, Ma Zhanshan, and other anti-Japanese songs which could not be sung in Lanzhou were sung in Xining. At the same time, my father also took the opportunity to perform in various places, collected many materials of Qinghai Hui folk songs, and organized and adapted more than 20 songs such as Sending Big Brother, Qinghai Love, Striving for Production, Mountain High and Water Long, Forward, Chinese Muslim War anti-campaign songs, etc. In 1997, I had received a letter from Mr. Zhou Yikui, a member of the Standing Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, CPPCC, of Qinghai Province, and Mr. Ma Xiaoxuan, a member of the Standing Committee of the Huangnan Tibetan Autonomous Prefecture. In the letter, they introduced to me in detail their own personal experiences of their father's anti-Japanese propaganda activities and the collection of folk songs, and they thought that Mr. Wang Luobin was the first person who aroused the anti-Japanese people of Qinghai with his songs. Mainil County, Gansu, there is a Kazakh tribe in the territory. They are unbearable. Sheng Shichai's oppression, fled from Xinjiang, uprooted and wandered to the Qilian Mountains to graze cattle. The Kazakhs are tall and tough, but they can sing and dance, very bold. Father was in Xining Yiyuan factory. Kazakh women workers came into contact with the Kazakh folk songs. He proposed to go to their gathering place to collect folk songs. Everyone advised him not to go, saying that it is not like Xining, also different from other pastoral areas, where the folk are very fierce, cannot go rashly. Father insisted on going, and Ma Bufeng sent him an interpreter and gave him an honest horse to ride, so he went on his way with his guitar on his back. They came to a Kazakh tribe under the Qilian Mountains. The Kazakhs were a people who rode on horseback, but their music was different from that of any other people in China, and their songs belonged to a different musical system. Educated in Western music and eager to learn the folk art of my father, here found a new feeling. Kazakh folk songs are more rich in singing, melody is more complete and more lyrical. He dove head first into the sea of music. The head of the tribe held Aachen concerts for him. The green, boundless grassland, a white tent, sheep in the distance spread joy, cooking smoke in the grassland over the sky. The earth is so vast, people live a peaceful, unchanged life. The father's young heart was touched. It was here that he adapted the first Kazakh folk song, Cooking Smoke in the Dusk. This is the folk song, singing about the good life, singing about the beautiful grassland, and the adults, children, sheep, and old horses living on this grassland. Time stops in this song, history disappears here, and life on the grassland is fixed here. My father also wrote a 2-act song and dance drama, Song of the Desert, for the Qinghai Children's Theater. There are more than a dozen songs in this play, part of which are Uyghur folk songs that he adapted, and part of which are Kazakh folk songs that he went to the grasslands and collected and adapted. The play is written from his own experience. A young Han Chinese musician comes to the vast steppe to publicize the anti-Japanese resistance, where the people live their own lives, unchanged for ages. The young man tells them that now that the country is broken and the Japanese are coming to kill and pillage, the people in the back need to support the front. The shepherds living in the rear did not think so and ignored him. The youth insisted on doing propaganda everywhere. Finally, one day at dusk, these shepherds organized an anti-Japanese expeditionary force which put up banners, rode horses, picked up swords and guns, and rushed to the battlefield of anti-Japanese resistance. The opera, Song of the Desert, had a great social impact on its first public performance in Xining and played a positive role in the anti-Japanese propaganda in Qinghai. Every year on June 6th, the Tibetan sea sacrifice ceremony is the most important folk activities in the Treasure Beach grassland, a grand festival. Merchants made of wood to the huge wine barrels transported, countless tents like mushrooms open in the Qinghai Lake. People sing, dance, drink, happy. When they were drunk, they fell on the grassland, and when they were tired of dancing, they hid in the flowers. Everything is so natural, everything is so simple. Night came and the stars filled the sky. My father sat on the ground with Mongolian and Tibetan herders. Bright bonfires were lit, cheerful songs were sung, spirited dances were performed, and big bowls full of wine were served. Father was intoxicated by the joy. This was his world where he had found his way. While staying in the city of Xining, Luo Shan could not face the emptiness and poverty of her life. She teaches art at a girls' high school, with no passion, no dreams, and even her husband is rarely by her side. There is not even electric light in Xining City, much less any place to go, which is too much for her. When my father was around, she would complain. She would get angry. She was very capricious. She needed a meticulous and fast life, and she had too many ideals about women's liberation in her head. The father seems overly indifferent to Luo Shan's demands. When more is said, unpleasant friction arises. This also hurt Roxane's heart. While the father was preoccupied with his work, their crisis was already buried, and the careless father didn't pay much attention to it. Xining is indeed a very closed city. 1938, when they came to Xining with the Northwest War Troop to perform, the father in Huangzhong Park performance skating, at the time of Xining surprisingly caused a sensation, because this is the first time that the people of Xining to see figure skating. Therefore, this unprecedented skating was also written into the history of Qinghai sports. It was really hard for Luo Shan to allow her to be able to stay in such a place with peace of mind. After all, she wasn't Wang Luobin. She couldn't possibly live like my father.